Ohio State 82, Purdue 74. The Buckeyes pick up a huge quad one win against Purdue. Let's get into some takeaways, some key stats from this game as we recap a big time win for the Buckeyes. I think the first thing that we see in this game for Ohio State against Purdue was the difference in the first half compared to the second half for Ohio State and Purdue. As you watch what happened in this game, Ohio State, it felt like they had a really, really nice advantage as the game went on, especially even in the first half, where it felt like Purdue was just trying to keep up. And as you watched Purdue kind of continue to trail and trail and trail, the thing that kept the Buckeyes in this game the most was really just the fact that, or what kept the Boilermakers in the game the most, was just the fact that Ohio State allowed some threes. And in the first half, Purdue shoots 8 of 14 from the 3-point line at 57%. Purdue is not a 3-point shooting team. If you listen to the preview show, you knew that. Purdue shoots 57% from the half, 8 of 14 from the 3-point line, and Ohio State still leads 36-31 in that game. So basically at halftime, I'm telling myself, look, if Ohio State is going to win this game, it's going to have to stop the 3-point shot probably. And on top of that, we're gonna be looking at a couple of different outcomes that we can see here, right? I think the first of which being Purdue, a team averaging 9.4 3-pointers per game so far this season, is one shy of that number. At halftime, they're going to have to find other ways to win, namely mid-range scoring inside. That's what they've done all season. Now, again, matching your first half 3-pointer made production per game so far this year, that would have led to, if you make the same amount of 3-pointers in the first half, in the second, you would have made the most 3-pointers you made in a game all year if you're Purdue. So my thought was, well, look, Purdue down by 5, the 3-pointers, that happened, right? It is what it is. They're not going to do that in the second half. They're going to have to find other ways to score. That was my first thought. The other options were Purdue continues its out of character 3-point shooting. The Buckeyes lose their lead. It's too much, and Ohio State loses. Purdue wins. The third option was, this is what happened. Purdue cooled off from 3. They crashed back down to their norm, and they lose the game. And that's exactly what happened. At halftime, I felt pretty confident in Ohio State's ability to stay in the game and potentially win, just simply because of the fact that Purdue was scoring a lot of points in the first half from 3-point shooting. And if you're going to score a lot of points in the first half from 3-point shooting as a non-3-point shooting team, especially on the road, you would expect Ohio State to figure some things out and maybe have the ability to stop Purdue from the 3-point line. And that is exactly what we saw in this game. So kudos to Ohio State on that one for its ability to wrap things up against Purdue and stop the 3-point shot. I thought that was really the biggest part of this game, if you ask me, in terms of Ohio State's ability to win this game. But Ohio State's offense was absolutely exceptional as well in this game. It was nearly unstoppable for a lot of portions of this game. You look at Ohio State's ability to score and to score and to score over and over and over again. It was impressive. It was really, really impressive what Ohio State was able to do in terms of the entire portion of this game for the Buckeyes. I think that as we watched Ohio State have the ability to really not go several stretches of game where they don't score, it was probably the best performance in that regard. So as we look at going just 2 minutes without scoring in this game, Ohio State went 2 minutes or more without scoring 3 times in this game. That's it. 2 of the 3 times happened in the first 10 minutes of the game. We're all still getting our feet wet. So that point, I mean, I think that was huge for Ohio State to never really go in that lull. I think we've seen Ohio State at times this year where they've had opportunities to win games. They've had opportunities to take over, to get leads, and they just cannot stop an avalanche. We saw it against Iowa, for example. They can't stop an avalanche. They can't score, whatever the case may be. In this one, that wasn't the case. They score 82 points. They shoot 51% from the field. They shoot 38% from the three-point line. They make 25 free throws. Absolutely huge, the amount of times they got to the free throw line as much as they did. They only turned the ball over 7 times. 19 second chance points on 10 offensive rebounds. That's incredible efficiency as well. So overall, I thought that this Ohio State offense did a really, really good job of just staying in the game pretty much as you can against a team like Purdue. Really, really played well offensively. I think you look at John Mobley Jr. in this game, man, was he good for Ohio State. And I think the biggest thing for John Mobley Jr., you got to give him credit. I have been critical of John Mobley Jr. at times this year when he's not shown the ability to snap out of poor play to start a game. John Mobley Jr. in this game started 0 of 3 from the three-point line. And I think the most impressive part of John Mobley Jr.'s game, you can look at his stats and say that was a good game for sure. But I think the most impressive part for him is he got subbed out of the game and his stat line said 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All zeros other than from the field, you're 0 for 3, 0 from 3, 0 for 3. And from the three-point line, you're 0 for 3. Imagine, I mean, a lot of people who listen and watch this show, you probably played basketball. Imagine you start a game, you go 0 for 3, and you get subbed out. And now you got to go sit down and think about the fact that you went 0 for 3 and you haven't scored a point and you haven't had the ability to contribute probably the way that you wanted to in the game. So I think that part from John Mobley Jr. was essential to Ohio State winning this game. Absolutely. He was really, really good once he got into a groove, and he did not allow the poor performance to start the game to keep him out of it. And he was fired up in this game. A couple players really fired up in this game. John Mobley Jr. was one of them. He responded 21 points to lead the game, 5 of 11 from the three-point line, meaning he finished 5 of 8 from the three-point line, had 3 assists as well. John Mobley Jr., his play in this one, again, even the first 3 threes that he took and missed, was there ever a time where you felt like it was a bad shot? I didn't feel that way, at least me watching. I thought the shots that he was taking the game were high quality, good looks for the Buckeyes. So because of that, I said, look, these shots are going to fall. He missed a shot in the second half where he made a really nice move, got into the paint, and he missed it again. Sometimes those shots don't fall, but the fact that he continued to have the confidence shooting when you start the game 0 of 3, I thought that was really, really big for Ohio State. John Mobley Jr. was a huge reason for the Buckeyes winning this game. He continues just to be so fun to watch, so good for Ohio State when he's on. Man, he is really on. Again, he was fired up in this game. He was commanding the troops defensively at times. You could just tell he was energized to be there in that game. A really, really big performance. And he shot a 3 over Fletcher Lawyer, who decided just to fall down and try to get a flop call, or not get a flop call, but get a foul call. So we'll take that as well, of course, for Ohio State. So John Mobley Jr. was really, really good in this game. Bruce Thornton as well was exceptional in this game for the Buckeyes. Overall, throughout the game, he was not the leader for Ohio State. He scores 20 points in this game. Many of those come down the stretch. But look, Bruce Thornton, 20 points. I think he was 5 of 7 from the free throw line, or he was something similar to that. He was 5 of 7. I have it right in front of me. Just read the paper, dummy. 5 of 7 from the free throw line. He missed the front end of a 1-and-1 early in the game. Didn't really let it affect him. Had a great free throw shooting performance outside of that. But Bruce Thornton was the closer in this game. He shut down Purdue's chances to come back in this game because he kept getting to the free throw line and kept making his free throws. Bruce Thornton's ability, again, to make half of his attempts from the three-point line and just his efficient scoring, his ability to lead this team, to lead the charge for Ohio State. He did a great job continuing to try to get into the paint in this one against Purdue's defense. I mean, again, it's just another performance from Bruce Thornton where when it mattered most, he was really, really good. We've seen that against Virginia. We've seen that against, was it Michigan State? I don't remember which game it was, but we've seen games where he scored a lot of points and Ohio State hasn't come out victorious. He was really, really good against USC when they did win. He continues to try to carry this team in the NCAA tournament. And, there's a lot of weight on him right now. His ability to play well for Ohio State in this game is huge. And again, he was the closer. He was the guy who said, you know what? I want to go to the NCAA tournament. So I'm going to make my free throws when I'm tired, when I play 38 minutes, when guys are hounding me, they're all over me for 38 minutes, especially at the end of the game. I'm going to go make my free throws. We're not letting this game get away from us. So Bruce Thornton was really, really good for Ohio State. Another player who was good for Ohio State was Amari Bynum in this one. Bynum, he had 14 points. The three that he made late in the game for Ohio State was probably the loudest the shot was yesterday. And not just that, it was the shot basically levitating after that 3-pointer. It was huge for the Buckeyes. Was Amari Bynum's three. I thought Bynum played really, really well for the Buckeyes overall. 14 points, rebounded well. Christoph Tilley, 7 points. 5 of them come from the free throw line. He found his way to the free throw line a bunch. He made life really, really hard for Trey Kaufman-Renn. He made life really, really hard for Oscar Clough. He made life really, really hard for Daniel Jacobson. He was a tough kid out there yesterday. So he played well. Overall, I think you can probably say this was not just one of it. You could probably say it was the cleanest offensive game of the year for Ohio State. They finished with an offensive rating of, I think, 135.6 in the game. It wasn't IU Indy. It wasn't Mount St. Mary's, but in terms of power conference teams played, in terms of Big Ten teams played, this was one of their best, right up there with UCLA in terms of efficiency offensively. So overall, the offense was really, really good. You also have to look at the fact that Trey Kaufman-Renn and Oscar Clough got into some very, very serious foul trouble in this game. You credit Ohio State. They took advantage. Ohio State ended up being +6 on the glass in the second half of this game. I thought that was absolutely huge for the Buckeyes in this one, where, again, Clough, Trey Kaufman-Renn, they get into some very serious foul trouble. Ohio State could have just not responded, but they did respond. Purdue coming into this game, number 4 in offensive rebounding rate in the Big Ten, number 2 in the Big Ten in defensive rebounding rate. So this is a team that can rebound really, really well. It scared me a lot, but somehow, some way, Ohio State ended up out-rebounding Purdue in this game. Devin Royal led the way with 9 rebounds. Say what you will about his shooting. This guy is fired up. I'm watching him in the pregame, in the tunnel. He's pushing all his guys around. He's getting guys fired up, getting guys ready to go. He was locked in this one. He brought the intensity. He got Trey Kaufman-Renn mad. He got Fletcher Lawyer mad. He was getting in the face of guys, and he did shove someone at one point that I thought for sure was going to get him tossed. But hey, he didn't get tossed. They didn't even look at it. So for whatever reason, Thornton and Tilley each had 5 rebounds. Yvonne Nagovin came off the bench with 6 rebounds. Again, Ohio State didn't really take advantage of paint scoring necessarily in this game, even with the bigs out. But they did the number one thing you have to do in order to maintain a lead against a team like Purdue, and that's rebound. The Buckeyes rebounded in this one. I think also Trey Kaufman-Renn, Oscar Clough getting out of the game for a large part of the second half for Ohio State. It allowed the Buckeyes to get smaller, which allowed for more spacing, better opportunities to get threes. I thought that was something they're going to have to do in order to beat Purdue in this game anyway, was have opportunities to make 3-pointers in this game, and that's what they did in this one. A couple other thoughts here in terms of Ohio State's win over Purdue. The rotation shrunk for the Buckeyes in this one. We saw no Puff Johnson. We saw no Colin White and barely any of Gabe Cupps. And I think the biggest thing, Ohio State did not run out of gas down the stretch in this game. That was kind of my concern, playing the rotation that they were. Overall, the Buckeyes, they shrink the rotation all the way down to 8. And, hey, they didn't run out of gas. Last note here. I will say this. Give credit to Purdue. They have an All-American on that team. It's not Braden Smith. It's not Trey Kaufman-Renn. It is Fletcher Lawyer. He should be named to the All-American rage-baiting first team. I mean, that guy, watching it in person, when you're there and you're that close to the action, you're seeing what's going on there. I mean, just pulling on Devin Royal, pulling on Bruce Thornton, pulling on everyone that he could pull on to. He was trying to piss guys off, and it worked a little bit, but he was just dirty. I mean, he wanted fouls called against him, or you know what I mean by that. He wanted fouls called all the time. He was flopping constantly, pulling on guys, just doing the things that you would, if Fletcher Lawyer were on your team, you would love it. You'd say, I love the energy. That's awesome. He's not on your team, so we don't like it. So Fletcher Lawyer, man, Trey Kaufman-Renn, also willing to kind of play through the whistle and not stop at the whistle. And get a little physical himself. Devin Royal got into it with guys. It happens. It is what it is.